Hello and welcome everyone. So in today's video, I'll be talking about the customer success engineer role with Salesforce. And if you have interview with this for this role in Salesforce, how you can prepare for that role, and what are the good and bad aspects of this role. So okay, as the name suggests, this mostly is related to the customer support, and the customers will be the companies who are using Salesforce as a product. Sometimes they get issues with Salesforce which they cannot debug on their own. So what they do is that they raise a case with Salesforce, and then that cases gets assigned to different support engineers depending on their skill set, depending on the time zones and everything. So you will be working on that team. Obviously you'll be getting some training for that, but you will be precisely working on the different shifts, and your main role will be to work on different cases for different customers and to provide the resolutions. Based on the resolutions you provide, you'll be getting the CSAT scores, which are really very mandatory to have a good CSAT score to survive in Salesforce company as a customer support engineer. All right, sometimes you may not be able to provide solutions, so you will be escalating cases to the higher support level, and that's what there are different levels of the customer support role. So the good thing, let's talk about the good things for this role, is that you will get to work on different Salesforce related things, and you need to debug different issues of Salesforce which you may not be able to debug normally. So you will get uh, to work on the kind of issues which you will not get normally. So your debugging skills will be improved a lot if you go for this role and work on this role for a year or two. All right, and you'll be working on different shifts. So sometimes you'll be working on the morning, sometimes evening, depending on the requirement and depending on the team size and length. You will be working on the different shifts as well. You'll be working on a different cases. It's not like you'll always be working on a one case at a time. You could get multiple cases at a time as well. And CSAT score is really important in Salesforce, so you have to maintain a good CSAT score. CSAT basically is the survey, customer satisfaction survey they get whenever you resolve your cases. They'll be providing the feedback for that. So you need to maintain a good CSAT score as that. uh, See, this role offers good salary. Okay, whenever you join on this role, they'll obviously offer you more salary, because this role requires person to have the development knowledge, but the work is more like a customer support, so they have to pay you more than what normal Salesforce developers get on that salary range, to make a decision easier for you. That is why sometimes what happens is that, let's say a person is working on 8 LPA, and he's giving interviews for other companies, he's getting around 10, 12. Salesforce might give him 15 or 16, so that he joins Salesforce company as a customer support engineer, because they basically need somebody who has development knowledge, who can debug those issues with their development skills and all. The problem with this role is that once you join as a customer support success engineer, you will not be working on any requirement from scratch. All right, I'll be really frank about this. You will not be working on any requirement from scratch. Most of the time you'll just be debugging, so your development skills will definitely uh, will not improve if you do not have any other source of improvement, like your side POCs or something which you do on your own dev. Your development skills, as per to say, solution wise, will not improve a lot, because most of the time you will be reading the code written by someone else. You will not get to write something on your own. So that is the drawback of this role. Other drawback is that you'll be working on different shifts, so your work life balance will definitely take an impact of that. The third negative point is that it will really be difficult for you to switch back to Salesforce developer role once you decide to change your job or something, because it is really difficult to change your profile within Salesforce. So if you see, even if you look outside, your package will be on a higher side, so it will be really difficult for you to look and get a job outside as a Salesforce developer. Many times you need to even opt for a pay cut as well to, and even then also it will be really difficult for you to crack those, because once you work in a customer support profile, even though it is technical support, it will be really difficult for other companies to hire you as a Salesforce developer. So those are the couple of drawbacks. All right, let's talk about, if you have interview with the Salesforce for this particular role, how you can prepare for that role. Okay, so see, they ask a lot about debugging. All right, so see, they want you to work on the issues, customer issues. So they will obviously ask you about the how you debug a particular scenario, or how you debug something which which is wrong in the production. They definitely want to see your approach towards solving a problem. Sometimes they'll give you a problem related to sharing insecurity, and you need to explain a lot in terms of explaining the answer. So if there is a problem related to sharing insecurity, you need to explain a lot why you think, why you check this, why you check that, why you check OWD, then why will you check the role hierarchy, sharing, and everything. You need to explain your answer so that they'll understand that you have the debugging capabilities. In terms of development also, they will ask you how to debug. Let's say you are getting a CPU timeout or a heap size issue, how you're going to debug that. The normal answer, we say that we'll be using the debug logs and all. uh, they may counter you with, like, there are hundreds and hundreds of line in the debug log. Will you be going one by one to each debug line to say that? So there will be counter questions related to the debugs. There is something called prospective manager in the debug logs. You definitely need to know about that, because that basically opens up a lot of thing in terms of a whole transaction, how much time it is taking, what thing is taking how much amount of time, what is the heap size of a particular piece of thing running in the back end. So all those things can be checked by the prospective manager. So do learn prospective manager and how to use in. Another very important questions you may get is that sometimes we get the issue directly in the production. How you're going to debug that particular issue? What will be your approach if something wrong is happening in the production? How will you debug that? So that is also a very important interview question. uh, Most of the time when something goes wrong in the production, we try to reproduce the issue and see what is the root cause of that issue, and then most of the time we try to solve it in the hotfix branch, and deploy the changes immediately to the production in a fast forward manner. It will not follow the regular sprint approach and the approval approach. It will be a fast forward mode of developing, but identifying issue is really important. All right. uh, I mean, this role basically requires you to work a lot on the issues of Salesforce. So you need to be very well aware about the order of execution and the governor limits, why you get different errors, what is the root cause of those errors, and how you resolve those errors. So resolving and debugging and finding the root cause becomes extremely important for this role. And if you explain all these things properly, you will definitely be able to clear this round. This is not a very tough interview, as per to say, for Salesforce developer, but do consider that if you want to remain a Salesforce developer, this role is not an ideal role for you. And even if you join, I will not recommend somebody to stay there for more than a year or 1.5 years, because then it will be really difficult for him to get back to the Salesforce development path, because companies will start asking questions related to the scenarios and all, which you may not be aware of, because you might not have worked on all those things. So this is not a bad role. If you are planning just to stay there for a year or two, this is still a very good role. It gives you handsome salary. Plus Salesforce as a company is a really good company, competitive environment, good perks, work life balance. I cannot say because I have not worked much, but whatever friends I have for this role, they always say that they have to work a lot on the different shifts, and they'll be working on multiple cases so at a time. So you need to take care of all those things. If you still have any questions related to this role, feel free to ping me, and I'll be more than happy to assist.